Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 88 of the Houston Astros franchise here on MLB The Show 20. And it's a very special episode because today we finally start playoff baseball on the channel, playoff anything on the channel. It's been a long time coming, but the Astros have made the playoffs in the 2021 season. They will kick off their ALDS journey against the Chicago White Sox, the 2-seed Astros versus the 3-seed Chicago White Sox. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. We have finally reached the home stretch in this series. Here are a couple of the key players on both sides. One player to obviously look out for is reigning AL MVP Alex Bregman. But on the mound for the Astros will be Justin Verlander. He gets the first Game 1 nods for Astros. They turn it over to the Cy Young winning veteran Justin Verlander. Pretty solid season. Leading off for the Chicago White Sox will be Starling Marte, the new acquisition. He signed a 2-year, $19 million contract this offseason. And a full count, he takes one deep to left field, but it'll be caught by Yordan Alvarez for the first out of the ALDS. Take a look at the White Sox lineup. We just saw Marte. Then we'll see the big free agent acquisition, DJ LeMahieu, followed by Yoan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez in left, Tim Anderson at short, Nomar Mazar is your right fielder, Jose Abreu at first, Yasmani Grandal, who's gave us some problems behind the plate, and Luis Robert is your DH. So here's DJ LeMahieu, the former New York Yankee. He pops up into the right side of the infield for out number 2. That's going to bring up Yoan Moncada, who had a very good season, career highs in both home runs and RBIs, 28-85 split. And on the very first pitch, he takes it deep to right center, going way back, but Springer catches it on the track for a loud out number 3. On the mound for the White Sox will be Lucas Giolito. He gets their first nods of the season, and he's had a very struggling one to say the least, 5.36 ERA, so the Astros have some chance to hit him around to begin. It'll be Jose Altuve, who had a 300 average in the season. He will be leading us off for the Astros. Now on the 2-2 pitch, Giolito winds up, pitches it, and Altuve slaps it through the right side of the infield. Fastball right down the pipe is a leadoff base hit for Houston. Next up, George Springer, 0-2. He can't connect on the circle change. A little bit of foolery there. So he is the first out of the ballgame. That's going to bring up the MVP, 329, 49 homers, 133 ribbies, Alex Bregman. And he gets a fastball up, but pops it up to deep center. Well, that'll be an easy play for Marte. Altuve will obviously not advance. And we'll take a look at the Astros lineup. So you've seen Altuve, Springer, Bregman so far. Then we'll see Alvarez, who's playing left field, followed by Josh Bell at first. Mark Canha is your DH today, followed by Josh Reddick in right. And Lesmes Diaz will be the shortstop, and then Garrett Stubbs rounds out the order. Here is Alvarez on a full count fastball. He swings and misses for the final out at the end. So we'll go to the second, and just a little bit of a disclaimer or a note. Since we are in the playoffs, we're going to watch every single at-bat. So that's why it's going to be a little bit of a longer episode. We got games 1 and 2, every single at-bat. I don't want you to miss out on all the action, including this 2-run shot by Tim Anderson. We just saw Eloy Jimenez get a leadoff base hit, and Anderson already brings him home. The first runs of the ALDS will be hit by a 2-run blast by the shortstop, Tim Anderson. Goes 433 to left center, and the White Sox are up 2-0. Nomar Mazar up next, 1-1 to him, and he hits this one deep to right field off of the foul pole, or should I say the fair pole, because that one is gone as well. Back-to-back jats for the White Sox here in the top of the second to get us started. It's now 3-0 White Sox. One thing I would not be surprised if we get that kind of series, as both teams have a very powerful offense so far. The White Sox showing it here early. So still nobody out here in the top of the second. Jose Abreu gets a loud first out as this one deep to center. Not quite the distance of his friends, however. Yasmani Grandal up next. He strikes out on the changeup, so Verlander trying to bounce back a little bit. And the speedy Luis Robert, 2-0, hits this one deep to center field as well. But it's well within Springer's range, so that'll bring us to the end of the top of the second. White Sox jump out to a 3-0 lead. Let's see if the Astros have any counter in the bottom of the second, and Josh Bell is going to get us started. Slider hit all the way to the right field fence. He has himself a leadoff double as he slides headfirst into second base. So here's Mark Canha, the former Athletic, strikes out on the circle change. That'll be out number 1. Canha had a very good season. Didn't even play a lot of the time. Here's Josh Reddick, who also didn't play as much as others. He had a 287 hitting average, though, so he's been tasked with the right field duties. And he takes a circle change to that side of the ballpark, and it clears the wall. A 2-run shot for Josh Reddick. Not who you would expect to hit the first home run for the Astros, but like I said, runs could be up aplenty in this series. And Josh Reddick gets the Astros started. They cut into the lead as it's now only 3-2 White Sox. Aledmys Diaz steps into the batter's box. He'll be playing shortstop since Correa will miss this series. He got hurt towards the end of the season. And Diaz will ground out for out number 2. Garrett Stubbs full count. He draws the full count walk. He will take his first base, bringing us to the top of the order. And the pitching coach for Chicago out of the dugouts, but it's not going to matter as Giolito gets him to fly out to right. So a lot of runs scored in the second, 3-2 both sides. Then looks like the hits are going to continue. Here is a leadoff double into the gap for Chicago. That one rattles up against the fence. And we have no outs. We're on second for DJ LeMahieu. He chops it back to Verlander. Quick play at first. 1 out. Marte does not advance. Moncada up next. He's actually going to try to take off this time. He is thrown out at third. Very aggressive base running by Chicago. Try to get Marte closer to home, and he's gunned down. Beautiful throw by Stubbs. Nice reaction for out number 2. And then later in the at-bat, Yohan Moncada 1-2 cannot connect on the nasty 12-6, and that'll end the top of the third. We'll go bottom 3 now with the Astros. George Springer leads us off. He gets the changeup inside, hits it to the shift on the left side. That'll be out number 1. Here comes 3-4-5, however. Bregman up next. 2-2. Slider. Gets a hold of this one. Deep left center. However, it's to the little indention. Just misses the jut out. So that is out number 2. Inches away from a homer. Then Alvarez, he strikes out on the high fastball again. So a quick inning for Giolito. Takes us now to the top of the 4th. Eloy Jimenez is your leadoff man. He strikes out on the high slider. Verlander starts his inning like how Giolito ended his. And then Anderson, 3-1, poke right side of the infield. Easy play for Bell, out number 2. Next up, Nomar Mazara, who had the home run a second ago. He strikes out on a curveball in the dirt, thrown out at first. And both teams going a little quieter here in the middle innings. Bottom 4, Josh Bell will lead us off. Fastball, hit deep center, but well underneath this one. This is a skyrocket. And the first out is finally caught by Marte. Canna up next, 2-1 to Canna. High fastball as well. He also gets underneath this one. This one goes into foul territory. Abreu has this one. That's 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th. And then Reddick, he draws a walk on the change. So Reddick gets on board with both of his at-bats. That's going to bring up Diaz, 3-1. He also will draw the walk. So back-to-back walks for Giolito with 2 away. We'll put Stubbs at the plate, and he's going to look at a strike 3 fastball. So he will not take his base. Looking. Let's go 5 now. Abreu leads us off. He is going to walk as well. So a lot of pitchers, both pitchers mirroring each other here in the middle innings. Yasmani Grandal up next, can't catch up to the 96 fastball. That's Verlander's 5th strikeout of the day. Speedy Luis Robert up next, and he hits a 1-2 pitch deep to the right side of the ballpark. That one is off of the right field wall. Robert's going to have a very easy double. That puts 2 runners in scoring position, 1 away for the top of the order. Marte hits a bullet to right field. Reddick catches it. They're going to test the arm. Reddick's throw is not in time. And there is the 4th run for the White Sox. They extend their lead to 2. DJ LeMahieu up next, 2-2. He's going to single through the infield, which means the speed of Robert is going to come around home. And the White Sox go back up by 3. It's now 5-2 Chicago. Yohan Moncada 2-0 deep to left field, caught though by Alvarez. And the White Sox jump back out to extend their lead again. Astros, do they have any counter? Bottom 5, Altuve leads us off with a little bloop out into right field. We'll bring up George Springer. 1-2 to Springer. He can't pull the trigger again, and he results in another strike 3 looking. That's Giolito's 6th of the day. Bregman up next, 1-2, slaps a fastball into right field, right in front of Mazara, playing a little bit of a shift. So a 2-out single for Houston. Yordan Alvarez up next, fastball, first pitch, swinging. He hits it deep off the left field wall. Bregman was on his horse. It was 2 outs. So he's going to come all the way from first and score. 5-3 Chicago now, as the Astros look to chip into this lead. And it's Josh Bell up next. Full count to Bell. Fastball, good pitch to hit. However, it's hit to Marte in center. So Astros do get back one in the 5th. They're going to turn it over to their bullpen in the 6th. Alex Reyes, the flame-throwing fastball pitcher, will step in relief. And his first batter, he gets a 3-0 green light. That'll be out number 1. Reyes will struggle with his command at times, as he got 3-0 there. Here, though, 0-1, ground out Anderson. Easy play by Bregman. 2 away in the 6th. Nomar Mazara, who 1-2 pitch, hit deep to left field. This ball is going away from Alvarez. He was playing the other side of the shift to the deep corner, and Mazara is already at second with a 2-out double. Bringing up Jose Abreu, 1-2. That curveball got hung, and that ball is way out of here, off of the train tracks. And Jose Abreu, 2-run shot, 4-10, gets 2 more runs for Chicago. And whenever Houston tries to mount some sort of a comeback, Chicago just extends the lead and continues to take a control of this one. It is now 7-3 Chicago. Reyes still on the mound for Yasmani Grandal. He gets him 2-fan on the 98 fastball, but damage has been done. And the White Sox will also turn it over to their pen. Both starting pitchers go 5. It is Alex Colome for the South Side, 2.72 average on ERA on the season. And his first batter is Mark Canha, who swings and misses on the changeup. Nice pitch by Colome. Reddick up next. He's first pitch swinging, but hits it right into the shift. That is Anderson playing behind second. So that'll be out number 2. And then Diaz up next. Full count to Diaz. He walks on the low cutter. So another 2-out base runner for Houston. Brings up Garrett Stubbs. 1-2. Turns on a cutter into right field. It drops in front of Mazara. Runners move up 90 feet. And we have 2 on for the top of the order, but Jose Altuve will look at a nice cutter down and in. Strike 3 looking. Astros go a little deeper into the bullpen here in the top of the 7th. Chris Devenski, probably their best relief pitcher this year, will step to the mound. Not kind of a little surprised they didn't go to him first. Luis Roberts will fly out first in the top of the 7th. Take us to the first person in the order, continuing the first trend. And he will hit it just like the first person of the inning did, right to Springer in center, 2 away. DJ LeMahieu up next, first pitch swinging. He's going to pop out to the first baseman, Alvarez. I'll stop at the first baseman run on there, but Alvarez makes the play. And Jimmy Cordero comes in relief for Chicago, 4.15 ERA in 69 appearances. He will start off against the hitless George Springer, who's struck out 2 times today. 1-2 to Springer. He gets a broken bat. Sinker jams him inside, and he is thrown out at first out of the inning. Alex Bregman, who's 1 for 3 on the day, 2-1 fastball perfectly hit into center field. He's on board for the 2nd time today. Bringing up Yordan Alvarez. 2-2 to Alvarez. Punch to the left side. That is 6-4-3 tailor-made. End of the 7th. As the Astros' time is running out, Devenski stays on the mound. Moncada leads us off of Devenski's foot. He does get to it in time, though. Nice hustle play by Devenski. That is out number 1. Eloy Jimenez up next. Full count to Jimenez. And he hits this one to deep right field, cutting away from Reddick. It'll stay in the ballpark on 1 bounce. Ground roll double for Jimenez. So runner on second. Tim Anderson up next. Hit this one bloop into center. Springer does have enough time to get underneath it. Runners will stay. 2 outs Chicago. Now bring up Nomar Mazara, 2 for 3 on the day, but he pops up to his right field counterpart Reddick. And no runs for Chicago in the 8th. As we have 6 more outs for Houston. Can they start some sort of rally? They'll have to do it against the lefty Zach Britton, who will take the mound for Chicago. 2.44 ERA and 48 innings of work. He starts off against the switch hitter Bell, who takes a sinker and punches it to the right side of the infield. Easy out number 1 for LeMahieu. Mark Canha is up next. 2-2 sinker. Gets a nice pitch to hit, but he pops it up to the left fielder Jimenez. That'll be the 2nd out of the 8th. So Josh Reddick up at the plate again. First pitch swinging. He does poke this one into left field. However, that one's going to get up against the wall. Reddick will round first, head to second, and he will get in there safely. 2-out double for Reddick. Tries to keep the bats alive. He's had a very good offensive day. But Diaz will take a pitch in the dirt, and that is ball 4. So he will go to first base. That'll bring out the former Athletic Liam Hendricks, as Chicago wants to turn to their bullpen. Hendricks signed a 3-year contract in the offseason. Plenty of experience against him, and I think that helps Stubbs here as he takes the fastball deep into the right center gap. One run is 100% going to come around. Second one does as well. It is now 7-5 Chicago as Houston looks to bring it back. Altuve, nice fastball, but hit to center field. Down by 2, want one more inning. They're going to turn over to Edubre Ramos. See if he can hold the gap here in the 9th, 2.84 ERA on season. He was acquired close to the deadline from the Dodgers. 1-0 pitch, and this one is grounded to the left side of the infield. Out number 1. Now it's Monty Grandal's turn. 0-2, cannot connect on the changeup. Nice pitch on the outside by Ramos. Quick 2 away. Luis Robert up next, full count. And he looks at the slider as well, locked up, doesn't swing. So the Astros need to get 2 runs off of Aaron Bummer. Hopefully they can bum a couple runs off and get him. You're going to hear that pun a lot if he shows up in this series. Did a very good job since he filled in closer, relieving Liam Hendricks. And George Springer will lead us off 0 for 4 on the day. He's going to finish 0 for 5 despite the perfect hit into the left side of the infield. How about Alex Bregman? Needs something from the MVP. He gets a sinker, hits it deep right field. Not deep enough. Mazara tracks it down. Out number 2. How about Yordan Alvarez, the last hope for the Astros. 0-1 to Alvarez. Cutter popped up into foul territory. Abreu has enough space, and Chicago wins Game 1 of the ALDS by a final score of 7-5. Bummer closes out Houston in emphatic fashion. And Chicago steals Game 1 in Houston. Not what you like to see if you're an Astros fan. You love to win these home games. Here's a take a look at the line scores. Both teams had 9 hits. Chicago just had more long balls, and that propelled them to victory. Mazara was your player of the game, 2 for 4 with that home run and a double. And the win will go to Giolito. Loss will go to Verlander, and Bummer does get the save. Let's take a look around the league at some of the other series. First game in this NLDS series, the Chicago White Sox win on a walk-off. Or the Chicago Cubs, excuse me, win on a walk-off 2-1 against the Washington Nationals. As it was Chris Bryant who had a walk-off homer. He actually had 2 homers in that ballgame. In the first game of this series, the Braves go into Los Angeles and beat the Dodgers 6-3. Braves steal Game 1. Remember, this is just a best-of-5, so will the Dodgers come up short again? It was a good performance on the mound for Fultonevich, and it was Buehler who got rocked for the Dodgers. Flip it to the AL side of things. The Athletics looking to defend their crown, get off to a hot start. Remember, they beat Red Sox in the wild card round. Well, they destroy the Yankees here in Game 1, 10-2, in part to a 6-run 8th. Lazard did a very good performance for Oakland in this one. Game 2 of this NLDS series, and the Cubs, jump out to a 2-0 lead. This time another walk-off in the 9th. This time it was Almora Jr. So that's been a very exciting series out there in Wrigley, but they jump out to 2-0. And the Dodgers, though, do tie it up in the other series 3-1, so this is 1 apiece for both squads. All the Dodgers offense came in the bottom of the 5th, but that was enough to get it done, thanks to Bellinger and Muncy. Max Fried got the loss, Kershaw got the win. So that'll move us to the second game of this series. McCullers versus Rodon will be your performance on the mound. So the Astros with a big Game 2. They don't want to drop 2 in a row at home and be facing elimination going to the south side. So they look to rebound here at Minute Maid Park for game number 2. Here's a look at the lineups. About the same lineups for both teams. Matter of fact, actually the exact same. So not much to talk about here in terms of the starting lineups. On the mound, though, for the Astros will be Lance McCullers Jr. He had a pretty up and down season, to say the least. 4.22 ERA in his 31 starts. Here is Starling Marte starting for Chicago, and he's going to draw a leadoff walk to start this game. So McCullers puts the first one on, and then the next batter, he's actually going to take off for second. We were ready for it, but he just got a phenomenal job, and he steals second. However, it wouldn't really matter as LeMahieu will walk as well. So back-to-back walks for McCullers to start the day. And then Moncada up next. His first pitch swinging to deep right over the glove of the jumping Reddick. Runners will all advance, and then Marte will round third come home. And this time the White Sox waste no time in striking first. It is 1-0 White Sox. Still nobody out. 2 runners in scoring position. Jimenez up next. He is beamed by an up-high fastball. Don't think it was on purpose. However, McCullers is a little annoyed. Still nobody out, though. Here is a lazy fly to left. Alvarez catches it. They're not going to test his arm, so everybody stays at where they're at. Mazzara up next. 2-2 swings at a changeup in the dirt. Strike out number 1 on the day, but that was a big out. As now they need a base hit to score, and they don't get it. Strikeout of Abreu. So McCullers only surrenders 1 in the first, despite having bases loaded, no outs. Carlos Rodon will take the mound for Chicago. He had a 4.68 ERA, so also not that good of a season for the White Sox. Former number 3 overall pick pitches to Altuve, who lays down a leadoff bunt, but he is thrown out at first. First out for the Astros. Springer up next. 1-1. Changeup is taken to the left side of the infield. That is an easy play on the left side for Moncada, out number 2. And then third baseman Bregman up next. First pitch swinging, hits it deep to left center. And it is caught by Marte. And it's a 1-2-3 for the Astros. Rondal leads us off in the top of the second. 2-1 fastball is popped up into shallow left center. Bregman is actually out there to record out number 1. Luis Robert up next. 2-2. Here is a lazy fly ball to right center. And Springer covers a lot of ground, but he makes the catch. Very good defensive play by Springer. He's been very good defensively all season on top of the bat. So glad we signed him to a 3-year, $36 million deal a season ago. But here's a 2-out base hit by Starling Marte, so they're already back up to the top of the order. Trying to watch him on first again, but this time Mayhew will just ground out to Altuve for out number 3. Alvarez leads us off in the bottom of the second. He checks his swing on an inside fastball, does not go around, so that results in a leadoff walk. Bell as well will check his swing on a full count pitch inside. This time he will not go around as well. So back-to-back walks on check swings for the Astros puts them in business. And then Mark Canha up next. 1-2 slider hits it deep right center. They will test the arm of Marte. Alvarez comes into third. Throw is offline, so he will be safe. Runners on the corner. 1 out for Reddick, who is our offense last game. But he pops up into foul territory, out number 2. So we need a base hit from Diaz. 1-2 to Diaz. Left side of the infield does not get the base hit. No runs for Houston in the bottom of the second. Top 3 now. Moncada leads us off. Hits right into the shift on the very first pitch. Quick outs for McCullers. Eloy Jimenez up next. 2-1 to him. And he hits this one deep to center. Springer has to get on his horse. It's back, and he runs out of real estate. Off of the grass wall in center field, the batter's eye is Jimenez. Hits it to the deepest part of the park. 429. That is the second run on the day for Chicago. They jump out to a 2-0 lead as the Astros not happy with what they're seeing so far. Tim Anderson is your next batter. He homered back in game 1. He will chop this one to the third baseman Bregman. There is out number 2. How about Nomar Mazara? Also homered back in the first game. He draws a walk on a very close pitch. That is McCullers' 4th walk already. They don't count his hit by pitch. Remember, he did hit that guy. And then a 2-out base hit is given up as well. So McCullers getting a little rattled here in the third. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal. 1-2 blooper into shallow right center. Springer does get to it, however. But the White Sox do get one in the top of the third. And the Astros, they put anything on the board. Well, a leadoff 4-pitch walk to Stubbs is going to help. He takes first base. Altuve up next. He swings through a full count fastball. Probably would have been ball 4, but instead, Rodon's first K of the day. And Springer is also going down looking. We saw that a lot in game 1. So back-to-back strikeouts brings out Bregman, who lines it right at Anderson. No runs in the bottom of the third for the Astros. Luis Roberts, strikeout looking to start off for the White Sox. How about Starling Marte? 0-2 to Marte. He hits this one to center, but it's right at Springer. That is out number 2. Bringing up DJ LeMahieu. 2-2 to him. He looks as well on the high knuckle curve. Strike 3. Bringing us to the bottom of the 4th. Rodon Alvarez, 1-0. Slaps a fastball the other way, but it's right at Jimenez. A little bit unlucky timing there for the Astros. And then Bell up next, 2-2. This one's hit up the middle. This one will get down in center field. So a base hit for Houston. How about Mark Canha, 0 for 1 in today's game. 4.63 3 double play ends the bottom of the 4th as both pitchers start to look to settle into this one. Moncada, though, takes a 2-2 pitch deep to right center. The Springer, on his horse, tracks that one down. A lot of ground cover. Nice out by George Springer. Eloy Jimenez, full count dribbler. Bregman, easy play for him, out number 2. And then Tim Anderson, 1-0 to Anderson. He hits this one to shallow right field. That one is going to be caught by Reddick. So both pitchers getting into their groove in the middle innings. How about bottom 5? Speaking of Reddick, he will lead us off with a leadoff walk. Inside fastball puts him on base. About Diaz, 3-2 to Diaz. Walk as well. Back-to-back walks for the Astros. Brings out the pitching coach. And they're going to put a little bit of a sacrifice attempt for Stubbs here, but he lays out a beautiful bunt, and he is actually safe. So the sacrifice bunt results in a base hit for Stubbs. Bases loaded, nobody out. Altuve turns on a fastball deep left field, and at the wall it's off the glove of Jimenez. Nobody was very sure what to do. A lot of confusion on the base pass as you can see runners going back and forth, but I don't know what the White Sox do here. They had a free out at home plate. No throw. Instead, the Astros get a run. Very weird play all around, but nonetheless, it is a RBI single for Altuve. And the bases are still loaded with nobody out. Springer deep to center. This will definitely bring home a run. But they actually make the smart play and gun down Stubbs at third. So runner does score, but Stubbs is thrown out at third for 2 outs. And then Bregman up next, though. 1-0 hits it deep left field. And it is over the left field wall. A 2-run blast for the MVP. 3:57 to left. And for the very first time in this series, the Houston Astros have the lead. 4-2 Astros. Fans on their feet looking for some sort of hope. They might have just got it thanks to the MVP. Alvarez, can he keep this going? No, he really can't as he grounds out to the first baseman. But the Astros have a new lease on life. It is 4-2 in the 6th. McCullers, he is still on the mound. First batter, Abreu, takes him deep right center, but that's an easy play for Springer. We've seen them make that time and time again. Abreu now up next. He hits this one to right field. Very first pitch, it's going to slice away from Reddick. So he will have a 1-out double as he coasts into second base. And that'll actually be it for McCullers as he comes out of the game in return for Austin Pruitt, who had a pretty solid season, 352 in relief. He's going to be tasked with keeping that run on second, and a strikeout, a favorable strikeout of Grandal will help that. 2 away now. Lewis Robert up next, and he doesn't get the call for this one. I think that was more of a strike than the other one. But nonetheless, it's a walk to Robert, and then Marte will make the walk pay. Instead of the outs of the inning, it is going to be a run for Chicago. It is now 4-3 Houston, and they're still threatening. It's going to bring up DJ LeMahieu. 1-2 to LeMahieu. Hit deep to left field. This one is trouble. It is off the top of the wall. 1 run comes around easy. 2 runs come around easy. And the White Sox, with not even a half inning, regain their lead. And LeMahieu doing what he was paid the big bucks to do. Very next page, there's that favorable strikeout again on Moncada. But it is 5-4 for the White Sox. So Houston, they need to answer once more. Josh Bell, he will try to do that up first. He will draw a first 4-pitch walk. Rodon puts him on first, and with that, you can see his command is going. He will be pulled. 5 innings of work for Rodon. He is responsible for the runner on first, and we'll see Alex Colome again, who had 2 strikeouts in 1 inning in Game 1. But he will walk a batter as well. So same pitcher, or new pitcher, same things. Back-to-back walks for Houston. Reddick up next, up the middle. That's going to get through. They're not going to test Marte. They thought about it. Instead, it's bases loaded, nobody out. Put yourself in a good position. Diaz, though, strikeout on the cutter. Big strikeout as now the double play is in order. And the Astros, well, Britton's going to come on, actually. They're going to bring out a lefty, knowing Stubbs is up next, but the Astros are going to counter. They're going to bring in Avisail Garcia to pinch hit for Garrett Stubbs. Big at bat for Garcia. Full count to him. High slider, ripped deep left field, no way. Pinch hit, grand slam for Avisail Garcia. What a at-bat. Slider hit deep to left, and the Astros take the lead. Big time for Garcia. Fans cannot believe it. Up on their feet. The Astros blow this one wide open. It is now 8-5. Garcia takes him deep. Altuve strikes out, but it doesn't matter. It's 8-5 Astros. What a play by Garcia. Springer up next. He strikes out as well. But I can't say it enough. Garcia, he will definitely stay in the game for that one. He'll move to right field. Maldonado is now behind the plate for Stubbs. Pruitt is still on the mound. He's now got a lead to work with. 2-2 pop-up into right field. That'll be out number 1. And the Astros have themselves a lead. They just got to close out now. How about Tim Anderson up next? 0 for 3 on the day. He's going to make it 1 for 4 as that one's hit down the left field line up against the wall. Alvarez gets to it, keeps him at first base. Nomar Mazara up next. 2-2 to Mazara. Strike 3, low fastball might have been favorable, but the third strikeout nonetheless. Abreu up next. 1-1. Chop to the right side of the infield, and the Astros are 2 innings away now from winning this ball game. White Sox are going to bring in lefty Jace Fry, but the Astros are looking for some insurance runs. It'll be Alex Bregman up first. 1-0 to Bregman. We've already seen him go yard once in this game, and he slaps this one perfectly into left. Leadoff base hit for Bregman. He hits lefties so good. How about Alvarez? Speaking of lefties, first pitch swinging at the high cutter. This one's hit to right field, but it is caught by Starling Marte. 1 away. Bregman stays at first. That'll bring up Josh Bell hitting from the right side of the plate this time. 1-0 behind on the fastball. That'll be an easy pop-up for Mazara. 2 away now for the Astros, and Mark Canha will step to the dish. 1-0 to Canha. Cutter. This one is absolutely demolished. Up over the train tracks in left center. Perfect timing on the cutter. There was no doubt about that one. 426, and the Astros do get their insurance runs thanks to Mark Canha, one of the biggest pickups on a cheap contract after the Oakland Athletics let him walk after helping them win a World Series. He has paid dividends for the Astros. Here's Martin Maldonado. Remember, he is stepping in for Stubbs, and he's going to get himself a base hit. He wants in on the postseason action as well. 2-out base hit for him. Diaz up next will strike out, so big strike zone, remember. That ends the 7th. Now the Astros are playing with a 5-run lead, but don't count the White Sox out until the last out is made. There is a leadoff base hit for Grandal. Robert up next, 0-1. Hit right at Garcia. Remember, he is playing right field now, so that means Josh Reddick will come out of the ball game. See him right there, and that's actually going to do it for Pruitt as well. He will come out of the ball game. Instead, it will be Adubre or Ramos. So they saw a couple of sharp base hits, and they want to get Pruitt out. So he was getting a little tired. And Ramos, very first batter, will get to pop up right side of the infield. That's 2 away now. LeMahieu up next. This one's on a bullet to left field. It will get down. So now runners on first and second, still 2 away. But we're getting to the heart of the lineup. Starting off with Moncada. He will walk. Curveball does not catch the outside corner. So now bases loaded. Eloy Jimenez up next. He will also walk. That's a walk-in of a run, too. That is the 6th run of the day for the White Sox. Still bases loaded. Anderson up next. He will walk as well. That's 3 walks in a row for Ramos, and that's 2 runs for free. I don't know what's happening with him, but I think it's pretty obvious. You got to pull Ramos. We're going to bring in Brad Hand in relief with less than 1 whip. That's what you need with the bases loaded scenario. You need an out. So we're going to turn it to Hand against the lefty Mazara, and he gets the job done. Ground outs to Bell. And the White Sox get 2 free runs, now only down by 3. They're going to bring in Jimmy Cordero, who we did see in Game 1, pitch 1 inning of work. Can the Astros bring home any more runs? Well, the Grand Slam man steps to the plate, 1-0. He's not done swinging. He wants another base hit. That one's hit into right. Leadoff single for Houston. Altuve up next, 0-2. Slaps this one into right field as well. It's actually in the right center gap. Ball is missed by Mazara. Garcia will score now, as that was a misplay by the right fielder, and the Astros have their 11th run of the ball game, trying to get their runs back. Springer ground out right side. However, Altuve does move to third. Alex Bregman up next. First pitch swing, a slider hit deep to left. I'm assuming that's going to be the sac fly, and they will test the arm of Jimenez. He also couldn't even get a running start, and Altuve will score, so Houston does get those 2 runs back. It is now 12-7 for the Astros. Alvarez will strike out, but 5-run lead for Houston going into the ninth. They're going to stick with Brad Hand. Do the White Sox have anything up their sleeve? They'll be up to Brady to start us off. 2 for 4 on the day. Make it 2 for 5. Nice pitch by Hand. First out of the inning. Grandal up next. 0-2 pop-up right side of the infield. Easy play for Bell. And we're down to our last out for Chicago. It'll be Luis Roberts, 0-3. Chopper right side. He is speedy. Altuve can't get the glove hand, so he will be safe at first. We're going to call it a base hit. And then Starling Marte up next, though. 1-1 dribble back to the pitcher. This time Hand fields it cleanly. Throw to first, and we are tied at 1 apiece. The Astros will win Game 2 by a final score of 12-7. And what a comeback it was in this one. Avisail Garcia, how can you deny that grand slam? Oh my goodness, what a clutch at bat. I remember jumping up out of my seat when I got that animation. He absolutely rocked that one. And deserving so, he went 2 for 2, remember, as well. And he will get player of the game. I think he deserves it. What a play by Avisail Garcia. The pickup in the offseason. And the Zach Greinke trade pays dividends in the ALDS. So we're tied at 1 apiece heading to the south side of Chicago. Let's take a look at some of the other series actions going back to the other side of the American League, the Yankees. They do win Game 2 thanks to an 11-9 victory, scoring all 11 of their runs in the second half of the ball game. So now that series is tied up at 1 apiece. Who will come out on top in that one? In the National League side of things, the Dodgers, they jump now 2-1 as it seems like they got their footing down on Atlanta. 3-hit shutouts as they lead the series 2-1, 7 runs on 13 hits for the Dodgers. It was Urias going 8 strong for them. And then the other series, the Nationals do stay alive, so they do force a game number 4 thanks to a 6-5 victory now at home. Despite 3 home runs for Chicago, the Nationals were able to hold on in this one and win Game 3. So here's another look at the bracket. No team has moved on to the CS yet. 1-1 for us, 1-1 for Athletics Yankees. And then the both other side is 2-1 Chicago over Washington and 2-1 Dodgers over Braves. So still plenty of baseball left to play as we march our way towards the World Series. But next episode, since there is no elimination scenario, we will play the next 2 ball games in the South Side at Guaranteed Rate Field. It'll be Urquidy versus Archer and Musgrove versus the former Astro, Dallas Keuchel. That'll be a very fun game to watch. Archer will be on the mound for Chicago. He had a pretty interesting season, to say the least. 4.02 ERA for him, 140 WHIP. But Game 4, I'm excited to see the former Cy Young, Dallas Keuchel, pitch against the Astros in the playoffs. So Keuchel is obviously not the same Keuchel he was when he was with us, but you know, revenge games will bring out the best in everybody, so that'll be very interesting to see. But that'll be in the next episode. We take another swing. Who will get the upper hand in the ALDS? Let me know also what you guys thought of this format. Did you like seeing every single pitch? I thought since it was the playoffs, we should focus on every single at-bats, but it did result in a longer episode. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you like this format, or do you just want me to do my traditional format? Also, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.